Yeah, so I mean, I feel like everything with that fire documentary, it was kind of just like bad business for the most part, and that's what it concluded to, like a big ass Ponzi scheme, wire fraud, and all that type of stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, that type of stuff really be happening every single day, and kind of like even with I don't know, you heard about like this Wells Fargo situation, like how the banks are shut down, like you can't access nothing. People at Wells Fargo can't get none of their money out,
I
all
hear
that type
about
of stuff. Yeah, so like they can't get none of their money out right now because the system has shut down. So it's like no ATMs, all that type of stuff. Only thing you can do is like safety deposit boxes and whatnot. But then that goes back to like what Killer Mike be talking about, which is kind of like group economics and capitalism amongst your culture and your race, which is kind of like you bank black and stuff like that, and you invest in your own community. You try to avoid stuff like that happening, or like some type of in-home banking system amongst the community. But yeah, like what you think about his trigger warning show?
Oh, I appreciated it. I really did. I kind of appreciated the free thought. Some of the things that he did were kind of radical, but I think it got the point across.
Okay.
Especially like the buy black for 3 days.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was kind of crazy. That was I think it conveyed the right message. Like I think it did.
For sure. I mean, he stopped smoking weed 3 days, slept on a park bench, watched his boy eat a crazy meal. Still hadn't ate for a day and a half. Rode the bus instead of flying.
Shit.
It's like
bought a bike. Rode that bike. Before that he walked.
Bike
by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just a testament to like what we can really do now if we really wanted to be honest with you.
Facts.
I don't know. It's like a couple places in LA, like this place called Grill Fresh. Like Grill Fresh on Los Angeles West.
Oh, shout out on the double.
Yeah, E-double.
For me, so that's right there in like the neighborhood, and that's convenient for people of our color to be able to go eat healthy and have a healthy option. Because everything else around there is like, what the fuck?
Right.
So, yeah, I think that. What's that fact he said? The black dollar only stays in the black community for 6 hours.
6 hours.
To the Asian community, 28 days.
28 days, bro.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That's a big difference.
I'm saying when you go over to like Chinatown, they got restaurants, then they got like the warehouses that they get their supplies and their food from. Then they got the bank right there, and all of them in that area put their money in that bank. So that dollar really just circulates around like
economy.
Right.
In this one little circle, maybe 3 or 4 blocks. They just keep going around.
And it's like when somebody is able, like, I went to Culver City High School, so like, I got a bunch of friends that are in the Asian community, and like they even tell me when they have relatives that comes from overseas, they'll rent out stuff to them before they rent out to other people, even if they're gonna make less money, because they just know that they can control the situation over there more and they can take over, which is what most people don't like doing when it comes to business. A lot of people are selfish, for sure, especially in the black community, though.
Well, that's group economics and more so cultural pride.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us sit around and we talk about other races for doing that, like as if they wrong. But we don't.
Right. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So what it is we shouldn't be talking about it. We should be following suit.
Mm-hmm.
But we too divided.
Facts.
So we don't get into no group economics. We don't even trust each other.
How have you experienced, like, what has been your experience with support or the people not supporting what you got going on?
It's crazy. Like, with what I do, this running situation, I've received a lot of selective support. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
Of course.
Perfect example. I've been running. Well, I've started my own run club. I've been doing FrontRunnersLA for 10 months now.
Okay.
It's been same time every Saturday for the last 10 months. Time has not changed one time. 8 a.m. Saturday morning in Manhattan Beach. So recently, and it's something that I post on my Instagram, my social media weekly. Like,
Constant reminders.
you can't you can't miss it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, so recently I've developed a really good relationship with Nike. So this past Saturday, I did an event with Nike, a running event. I posted that now everybody's like, "Oh, I'm coming." The event was at 8 a.m.
The cosign.
Yeah, it was at 8 a.m. Now everybody's like, "Oh, I want to come now." You know what I'm saying? Because Nike's backing me. But bro, I've been doing this. So like, you couldn't get up before.
Right.
You know what I mean? You complain about waking up early, blah 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 blah. But now that Nike's rolling with me, you like, oh, okay, here I come.
Right.
And then like another thing, like a friend of mine, this past Sunday I ran a race. I posted I was gonna run the race, and my friend was like, "Oh, I'm gonna run it." I posted it Monday night. Tuesday she hit me like, "Oh, I want to run it," and then the weather was tricky last week, so she hit me up Tuesday, and was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it because of the rain."
Mm-hmm.
I run in rain, sleet, whatever. Like
Whatever.
I'm gonna get it done.
I'm with you.
So she's like, I'm not gonna make it because it's raining. So it's supposed to rain from Thursday to Sunday.
Right.
So I posted that. So she hit me Tuesday, told me she wasn't coming. Later on that day, I posted the Nike event, which was Saturday, in the rain, and she's like, "Oh, put me on the list for it." But it's raining that day. Like we running in the so like it kills me, bro. Like how people choose to support you when you got this big company behind you or whatever it may be. So. I got many examples when it comes to this, but this is just a couple I'm gonna share. But yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah, no, it's hella tough, especially for us. Like I'm sure that's something that's real common in our circles, in our culture, is our own people don't fuck with us. Obviously, you be hearing the stories not even stories, like we all know somebody selling shirts, t-shirts, something, and niggas want discounts.
Right.
They'll go to the store, they ain't, if they're at the mall, they ain't trying to haggle for no deal. They gonna pay what it's worth.
Right.
But then when it comes to their partners, they real partners, they trying to get the discount.
Right. I mean, that's why like I'm big on like when Nipsey's doing with selling with the price points he puts this marathon stuff at, because they gonna go buy the shit from Gucci or whoever else, you know what I'm saying? So get yours, you know what I'm saying?
So you say about Nipsey, what you think about, what part of LA you from?
I grew up off of like Gage and Western.
Oh, for sure. So I grew up in Venice and Manchester.
Okay.
So all around the same area pretty much. Like what do you think about like the gentrification that's going on right now, like in the Crenshaw district and all over South Central, and also it ties into Inglewood as well, because that ties into the Killer Mike thing too, because he's speaking about that heavily as well. I mean, with that, it's sad to. I mean, I don't want to say sad to see. It's okay. It is sad to see. It's sad to see, but then at the same time, there are a lot of black people that are mad at it, but you could. In one aspect, you kind of got to be mad at yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are coming and knocking at your door, and you know what I'm saying? Like you're selling. And you're selling. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you can't be mad at it. Right. Your grandmama, your big mama left you this house. You couldn't keep it up. Right. I need the money.
You feel me? You thirsty for the cheese. You know, instead of keeping it within your own family.
Right. You know. And then even then, if you sell it to a black person, another black person, but they're gonna sell it to whoever gonna come first. Right. Where those other races, they not selling to no black people. They gonna sell it to somebody that look like them, so they can keep their neighborhoods the same consistency.
So I have an unpopular opinion, but not. It's an unpopular opinion, but with a twist. So I think that it was better for Trump to win over Hillary Clinton for the state of black economics within the community, because I feel like if Hillary Clinton would have got elected, it would have been a carryover of somebody got us still. With Trump, it's forcing us to actually realize, like, no, nobody got us, so now we got to take action, because all this stuff is being threatened to be taken away, and a lot of stuff is being taken away. So within that fact, it's like, even think about people on Section 8. Like, niggas didn't get no Section 8 for a month. So if your person or whoever's the owner of that decides, like, okay, you so much backed up on rent now because Section 8 ain't paying your rent, you have to get out because I need to pay my shit. It's kind of like you asked out. But then that goes back to the Wells Fargo Bank thing and anything else that can hold you off and cut you off from that. So from that perspective alone, only, I say that I'm glad Trump got elected, preferred over somebody that they thought was going to promote the black agenda when it's really...
This ain't Trump pretty much, like, the Trump situation kind of is pretty much making people open their eyes. Like
Exactly.
Forcing people to open their eyes.
Right. Instead of being like
being comfortable.
Hope.
Yeah.
Right. Like no, I'm just saying it forces people to get off their ass and really think like, because ignorance work both ways. Ignorance, if they feel like they're comfortable, they're gonna be super comfortable. If you ignorant think you're in danger, you're gonna think you're in super danger.
It's crazy. I talked to a bunch of my friends that work for TSA during this whole situation, and they're like, "Oh my God, it forced me to save and learn how to save and blah 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 because I was comfortable and I didn't put money aside and so they went a month without getting no cheese,
cheddar."
Right. But I mean, on the flip side though, I like the fact that a lot of eateries and restaurants and small spots like came through.
Show love.
Show love. Taco Pete.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite places. I think they was doing like lunch every day for like, if you bring your badge, you can come get lunch every day for like them and their families. And they did it for every day until it was over.
Man, that's what's up. Respect. Shout out Taco Pete.
Yeah. And there was a couple other places that did it too. And then you saw some people on social media like reaching out to people like random and going to buying them groceries and whatnot.
Right.
So I mean, in that sense, we did kind of come together. We did help our own.
For sure.
So I can kind of see what you're saying.
I get like in that moment, we came together and I bet they ain't talking to each other now. I get it though.
I mean, they said it might go back into effect on the 15th because remember he did say it's temporary.
It's temporary.
Yeah, so it might go back in effect. So we might be right back at the same situation. And that time, you never know how long it's gonna last again.
Right.
So
well, just for the business people out there, that's called brand equity. When you invest in your consumers and the longevity of it, people are still going to come back and eat at that place for the rest of their life because kids going to remember that they got free food when their parents weren't getting paid and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that was just like the school part of it for sure.
Nah, I mean, I appreciate that. Like literally, kind of just shows it's like,
and support those businesses like after the fact and like don't go tear those things up. Don't go tagging or whatever. Destroying, bringing down the value of these places because you just want to be ignorant.
Right.
Yeah. There was a couple people like, what's the Source LA? I believe it, the one who Roxy Frank. She does like, she posts jobs and stuff right on her. She has like 2 different Instagram accounts. One of them, the one that she posts jobs, like on that one, I think she put on there like Taco Pete. But then people like was dropping down trying to like, I went there one time and I found a hair in the food, right? And she'll block them after that. But it's like, why is that part of the conversation right now? They feeding people that can't feed themselves right now, and you trying to tear the situation down. Like that's another side of us that kind of gets on my nerves, is because
I'm with you.
We can't be all on one side. There's always going to be somebody that's going to try to hate and tear things down at the wrong time. Like, I get it. You're not happy with having a hair in your food, but is this really the right time to talk about that when they really feeding people that can't feed themselves? Yeah, like, that's not the right time, but that's what they did. So I'm glad she blocked them, but you saw a few of those people. And that's that's no problem.
And that's something that's like never gonna stop happening. Like
for sure.
No matter how many people are on one side of the fence, there's always gonna be those few like
self-hatred people.
Yeah, like that are just gonna that are gonna go against the grain.
Right.
Like, and that's with anything like. And it'd be certain. I can't even think of a specific situation, but there are certain things where it'd be like, how could you hate on that? Like it's so positive, but then there are those people who just are just fucked up individuals.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Misery loves company.
Right. Yeah, I think that kind of goes back into cultural pride, because when you think about it, it's like, do we, as a whole, do we really have pride in ourselves? Like, I mean, some people go as far as talking about like beauty, right? Our concept of beauty. I can tell you, like, the video girls in the early 2000s were all the light skin, wavy hair, Brazilian type, especially like in that Hype Williams era, right? And then things that were women that were dark skinned wasn't really highly on that level. So I could kind of say that there is a certain selection of people that might be embedded in kind of all of us. I mean, obviously we were all our culture kind of starts with slavery because prior to that, we weren't really connected to our culture.
Oh, you saying like the culture that we know of?
The culture as Black Americans, our culture kind of started in that we were taught to hate each other at that point where our culture kind of begins. So it's ingrained in it. So it's like we come by it, naturally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we know about it. So I feel like we should be working harder
to do something
about it, where we know that, like, to have culture, to have pride in one's culture, means that you gotta fuck with your people,
and you gotta know where you come from as well. Like, you gotta learn more about your actual culture, because I mean, slavery is not really where our culture started. For instance, that's where our culture is being taught. That's the timeline where it gets started.
Well, I'm saying prior to, like, without having to go and like do a DNA test and then learn the culture. I'm saying the culture that's embedded in us. Like when we're kids.
Hate. Yeah.
It starts as slavery. Like when we go to school, they say you were slaves, and then ... right?
Yeah.
As an adult, you probably have to go further and go learn. But I'm saying like our culture as Black Americans, as opposed to being descendants of.
So how about this point? So we were talking about Killer Mike, right? So Killer Mike was saying on the interview, he was saying, how about we think about it from this perspective, that white people are being put at a disadvantage by not being taught the proper history, because history is being taught from a perspective that white people were the ones who built this country up, and white people were the ones who were here, like, to establish everything. So they think that all that was here was them by themselves and not anybody else. So he was saying, like, if the proper culture is taught, maybe everybody will have appreciation for the person next to them if they understand, like, oh, we weren't here first, or we are this and that. But it does go way deeper than that, and it's hard to just kind of like accept it at that surface level. But I feel you though.
I mean, it definitely perpetuates white privilege
for sure.
So I mean, I could see that. I mean, it's really for us though, because that would make them more equipped to deal with white privilege, to even see it, because a lot of them don't even see it.
Right.
But I don't see, it's not really a benefit for them. They kind of where they at. It's really for us. So some part of me kind of feels like, should we really even be concentrating on trying to change them, or should we really be putting our time into really changing us and becoming self-sufficient?
I agree with that.
Because the argument was back with back when we were fighting for segregation, or fighting against segregation. Segregation caused us or made us have to fuck with each other. Like, we had solutions, right? Killer Mike was talking about that green book, where the motorists knew where to go to get Black service, right? When they traveled, cross country. We don't have nothing like that because it's not important to us. We don't care. We pull up at the 76. We pull up wherever. I'm sure in certain areas of the country, Black people have, gas stations and whatnot. But nobody looking specifically for that if it's not in your area, right?
Like for example, like to bounce off of that, like how it'd be those like those text messages or those threads like, don't buy gas on the 17th. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas still go buy their gas though. Like it's not like they try to do it for a cause, but ain't nobody really paying that shit no mind. If you need gas, you go get you some gas. Like,
yeah, I mean,
ain't nobody striking for no,
Yeah, it'd be like beneficial to them for them to be able to do it and shit.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that kind of goes into the cap situation. Obviously, people talking about boycotting the NFL, not participating, not watching because of how they doing cap, but. You got some people. Now I'm gonna say you got some people.
I know some people that really like boycott,
yeah.
And salute to them.
Yeah, I'm not even. I do it. Like, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the whole last couple seasons at all. And I know some other people, like the dude Rizza Islam. I do recall he did a post where he was like, he not going to, but he also said he's not gonna ostracize or talk about anybody that did. But I'm saying, like, we definitely need to be more unified. It's like, for somebody that was unselfish, who was protesting for things that happened to other Blacks.
Right.
And so really he kind of gave up his position and stood firm for other people, then those other people should be standing firm for him. But people care more about they what they watch.
That's what I was going
than what they do.
So I was speaking on when it comes to selective support. Like they're gonna pick and choose what they want to. Like it could all be negative shit.
Right.
But you're gonna pick which one you want to roll with.
Right.
Like so some people will fucking go in on Bill Cosby but still rocking with R. Kelly. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
facts. Selective.
you know what I'm saying? So
right. I mean, that's not really a sacrifice then. In that case, that's really just, like you said, being selective about what they want to support. I feel like a sacrifice is really when you want to do something, but you don't do it for the bigger picture.
right.
But they just feel like people just find whatever's comfortable.
Right.
Like, I already don't go to Walmart, so that's cool. But instead of, like, saying, nah, I'm not going to go to Target. Nah, I already go, I shop at Target, so I can't do that because that's my favorite place. So
Right.
when it's convenient for them, they do it. When it's not, they don't do it. And that's not how that's definitely not how, the civil rights people prior to that, like, they boycotted bus lines when they had to use bus lines to get to work. So I'm sure they were late to work, or they was having to walk hella far, get up hella early to get to work, but they really boycotted. It wasn't about convenience. For us, it's literally about convenience.